All right, let's see. 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Ms Legalista here. Welcome to the live or the video if you're watching this later. And I'm back. I had taken a brief hiatus, 7 days maybe. And even before that, I just was not up here, and I certainly was not up here live. Let me pull this closer so I'm not having to bend over because I was having so many issues with my internet. I would try to record a video. It let me tell you, just the lag, the glitching, the non-syncing of the audio with the video, especially if I wanted to share something with you that was on another YouTube channel, it had gotten to be almost impossible for me to tolerate that. It was awful. Okay, it was just awful. So I just haven't been on YouTube for a while. It is amazing to me how much YouTube will stop promoting your stuff if you don't come. It's like, come visit us. If you don't come visit us, we think you don't want to be friends anymore. And so YouTube will just like watch your impressions and everything just plummet. So I'm sure nobody's been seeing my stuff anyway. Nobody missed me anyway. There are thousands, millions of videos on YouTube. But I'm now back because I have brought cable back. I brought cable back. So this is my first live on YouTube with cable since I had switched from Verizon 5G. So now we're back. We're going to see how this goes the next few videos and lives. I don't know. I have no idea where this is going to go. But is this Frankenstein synthetic identity theft real? Is this just another made up phrase that we now have to keep up with? My husband says all of this stuff is made up, everything. I'm like, yeah, we make things up. That's what we do. Frankenstein. I was not prepared for this. I was actually doing a live on Kick. And I was trying to come up with some questions for the Scam Squad showdown that I'm putting together. And I wanted to come up with a question around synthetic identity theft. So I'm going to backtrack here before I even get to that. Let's talk about identity theft. Let's talk about synthetic identity theft. And then where in the world is this Frankenstein thing coming from and what does it even mean? I'll do another separate video on that, but I just want to break this down. Let me pull up this. And I should have already had this set up so that you could see it. But let me share this Google page here with the AI overview, if I can find the right one. I think that's it, the one we want to go to. Let's bring that up so that we can talk about it and how we get here. So this is, of course, AI generated from Google, their AI overview. I don't normally use this, but I do like to go to it to see what AI is pulling from around the world to see what's going on. So is there some truth to this? Yeah, there sort of is. But again, let's sort of break this down. Now, identity theft, you remember, is just people taking your social security number, birth date, personal information and using it to their own benefit, right? Financial fraud, so that they can get money, they can get credit, they can get accounts. I don't know. But anyway, it's not theirs, it's yours. Look at this synthetic identity theft. So now we're going deeper, not just identity theft, because I just told you how that usually works. Synthetic identity theft is a type of financial fraud that involves creating a fake identity by combining real and fake information. Now, I came across something recently that talked about when the term synthetic identity first came into our, I guess, our list of words and phrases that we use. And according to an article that I read, it goes back to that Alien movie. I think it was the first one where you had that android and he referred to himself as a synthetic person, right? He had a synthetic identity. He didn't like being called an android or anything like robot or anything like that. He just thought of himself as a synthetic person, okay? Not real, but he didn't like those other terms. So synthetic identity theft is this combining of real and fake together. And you can see here what kind of crimes it's used to commit. It says opening bank accounts, applying for loans and credit cards, because then once they get the money and once they buy the stuff, they can go away because it's not really them. Filing tax returns. I'm not sure why you would file a tax return as a synthetic person, but okay. Obtaining medical care, because then you don't have to worry about the bills. You walk in with this identification that's totally synthetic. The address may not be real or may belong to someone else. It's just all of this combination of stuff. When the hospital or physician's office gets ready to send the bill and the bill doesn't get paid, you're long gone. When they try to go get a judgment against you or file against your credit report, that's when all these mix-ups happen and they realize, okay, there's something going on here. They're trying to attach this debt to somebody who's just fake, doesn't really exist. Applying for unemployment benefits. Imagine that, because that's the one, it's different to fake out a hospital, right? Because that's basically a breach of contract sort of issue, but there is some fraud there. But when you start talking about fraud against the government, like applying for unemployment benefits, that sort of looks like real jail time there, right? Setting up accounts on online marketplaces. So then they can defraud even more people, getting out there saying they're selling services or products, having people pay them, and then not shipping the products, not doing the services. They've gotten the money. The other party tries to pull the money back, only to find that the account is now closed and the synthetic person is nowhere to be found. You guys, obtaining chargebacks. I mean, the list of things that they can do when they are a synthetic person gets much longer, because someone who's vetting that person will find that some of that information is true. They'll go, oh, okay, I can do a quick Google search and I see that that name is associated with that person. Only the social security number, which is private, is from somebody else or totally made up. So, yeah, there may be this feeling of comfort because you're able to verify some things. And so you let your guard down a little bit more because you think this person is real. Some of the things check out, some of the things. All right, different types of synthetic identities. This is where we get into the Frankenstein synthetics. It's here. It's here. And if you Google Frankenstein synthetic identity theft, it will come up. So apparently it is real. Okay, so let's break down these synthetic identities. Manipulated synthetics. A real person's identity is modified, such as by changing their social security number. Okay, so they got this person, they're just going to modify it a little bit. Frankenstein synthetics, a combination of real people's data. So imagine you're Frankenstein. So you ought to be able to remember this one now, right? Because when you think of Frankenstein, you think of different parts and pieces coming from different people being put together to have a whole new person, right? This is the same thing. This is what it's saying. A combination of multiple real people's data. Unlike just the regular synthetic where they'll take some real and some fake. And then you have the manufactured synthetics, which is a completely synthetic identity. Who can keep up with all this? Who can keep up with all this? Okay. Talks about things you can do to protect yourself. There, you already know some of these: shredding your documents, freezing your credit reports, being careful about what you share on social media, and reporting it if it happens to you. And you report it to your credit bureau. If it happens online, you can go to ic3.gov, which is the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center. And I've helped clients do that before. But yes, first of all, you need to do something fast once you recognize that something is going on. And the other thing that you need to do proactively is to make sure that you have notifications set up on your phone. Get a text message from your financial institution whenever there is a transaction that goes over a certain threshold. Sign up for notifications from your Register of Deeds or whatever your deed registration office is called in your locality, the place where you live at like the county level or something like that. A lot of them now have a way for you to get notifications if somebody files something against your property. So keep in mind that all of this, though, is a little behind after the fraud and the scam has happened. Like they've already used your social security number or your address and your birth date, all of that, and they've already secured it. But you can still do other things to stay aware of what's going on. All right, so we now know what Frankenstein synthetics are, what manipulated synthetics and manufactured synthetics are. It's just a whole vocabulary that we're having to learn here. Not prepared for it at all. But in the comments if you have, number one, experienced any scams at all, and let's see if I can get back my picture like I want my picture to be. Let me know in the comments if you have experienced scams or fraud, had money taken away from you, found out somebody else is using your social security number, opened financial accounts, credit card accounts in your name. But the thing here to watch out for is this sort of use of your information and then making sure that you're setting up notifications in case these things happen. The quicker you can do something, the more likely it is that you can get your money back. If you're waiting a really long time, it's going to be very difficult. Very, very difficult. So hopefully when I get ready to check this particular video out, everything will be cool. Hopefully going back to cable and leaving Verizon behind. Hopefully this turns out and looks good. So don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to keep watching and staying informed about what's going on with scams and frauds. And one of the things I didn't say is I'm going to do a lot more lives because it's just easier. And now that maybe this is going to work, hopefully, and there's not going to be glitching when I look back at it, that'll be a good thing. So this will be a whole lot easier on me anyway. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you now have a little bit better understanding of synthetic identity theft and Frankenstein synthetics. All right? Peace.